one, I wanted to show you what I did with my December book and the rest of December. I had originally decided to use another book, but I expanded the spine and added the signature back in, because that was the original problem, was that the spine was too small and it became too bulky, and so I had a new book. So what I did was to expand it by cutting open the spine, adding a larger piece of chipboard, and using bookbinding tape and then the fabric on top of it. So what I'll do is I'll flip through and I'll show you, just to remind you of how I documented this month. And it was such a pleasure to come back to documenting this way. I don't know how I'm going to document 2021, and if you're watching it at the time it was posted, it is already the first week of January, and I still don't know. I'm still looking through my stash of supplies and some books that I have made to decide if I want to go back to doing things this way, where it's just lots of different pattern paper, lots of themed paper for whatever month, and tea-dyed paper, picture of the day, a little note, to-do list. I don't know. The thing was that I wasn't very motivated during the pandemic, the early stages, to document much. So I'm glad I came back to it in December, but we'll see. I actually took this picture on the 21st and I wanted to include it, but there was no space on that page and didn't really want to cover up the postcard. So I'm gonna cut this down and put it right there. So you always feel a sense of accomplishment when you finish a month, and I wanted to keep it all in one book. Made a few changes to that first page. I decided what was the sense of covering up that quote, so I made those changes and used some flip outs, and it wasn't overly Christmassy. I did go back and add a few more Christmassy items on some of the pages, but for the most part, this was it. It was so good to see my family. And I gave my mom and dad a copy of my book along with their present. And so, if you haven't, make sure you check that out. I will post a link about how you can purchase your own copy of my collection of short stories. Some of my sisters don't like to be on the internet, so I decided to blur that page. And I'm glad that I kept some of these pockets because I had some extra pictures, and even though I collaged a lot of it, I still wanted to keep those pictures. I didn't do much for the final day because I hadn't done anything on that day yet. I had written up things, and I'm going to go back and write what I wrote about the end of the year in that section, and if I have any other pictures. And I have a few pages where I can write some more in there since I don't have a personal journal yet. But that was my December. I hope that you enjoyed it and that you had, a reasonably okay year despite everything. Happy New Year! See you guys. Walk good.